Any questions?
I have a question. One of my friends wanted me to ask you. He said, how does one deal with the death of a guru, and what does one do after that? If one guru's
Question is, how does one deal with the death of a guru, and how does one carry on after that?
Right.
First of all, I'm not too happy with the choice of words here. In the Vaishnava circle, we have our own vocabulary, which is based on our worldview, our outlook of the world. Our outlook of reality produces a certain type of way of thinking, and to convey that way of thinking and a certain way of feeling, there's also language. Language is to convey thoughts and feelings. So when we speak about spiritual personalities, we speak about the appearance and disappearance, or manifestation and unmanifestation. So we speak about Guru, we talk about, it's called Avirbhav and Tirobhav. Abhav and Tirobhav. So Avirbhav means manifestation, and Tirobhav means unmanifestation. But there's one word that's constant here, is manifest. So which means the Guru, Avirbhav means manifest and unmanifest. So what that means is the Guru is always manifest. Sometimes he's visible, sometimes he's invisible. So that's the first point. Like it said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote some song, he who reasons ill, will say that Vaishnava, he who reasons ill, it says Vaishnavas die. Vaishnavas don't die. If it's a Guru, if it's a spiritual personality, a Guru, it's impossible for him to die. Because his life is not physical life, his life is transcendental life based on Shabda Brahman that he distributes in the world in the form of Shiksha, Diksha mantras, and Harinam Sankirtan and Pravachan, Hari Katha. This is all Shabda Brahman, which is eternal sound vibration. So the Guru lives eternally in its vibration. The Guru is a vibration, also a person. The vibration takes personal form. Because what is a person? A human being, a person, a manifest person, is a collection of vibrations working synergistically together to produce the symptoms of life, what we call life. So when that vibration changes, then it appears that that life is no longer there. But the vibrations are still there. That's why sometimes they make samadhis for Vaishnavas, to collect their vibrations in one place. They collect their vibrations that are concentrated in the samadhi. Sometimes there's non-samadhis, there's pushpa samadhi, there's different types of samadhis. Anything connected with the spiritual entity, the name, the vastu, the rupam, the form, objects, tadinam, anything connected to the spiritual personality has a high vibration of spirituality which resonates in the hearts of the followers and disciples. So I can't accept, I will never accept that my Guru is dead. This is not a word that's used in our vocabulary. So first of all, if you say the Guru is dead, that means the Guru was never alive. The question is, how do we do when the Guru dies? The Guru dies, that means you're not a disciple. The Guru appears in your heart, that's an eternal appearance. He's not, because he's making, Guru and Krishna are one entity, one vibration. You can't separate the two. But if you're feeling separation from the Babu of the Guru, that's also good. It says the true disciple, when the Guru leaves, he cries. As the Guru leaves, it disappears from external vision, becomes unmanifest, then the genuine disciple will cry, maybe for many days or a long time. That's good, that's healthy. On November 14, 1977, the whole world was crying. Because Prabhupada disappeared from the planet 7:25 in the evening time, November 14, 1977. Everybody was crying around the world. Every country in the world, someone was crying over the disappearance of Prabhupada, all his followers and disciples. So when the Guru is Tirobhav, unmanifest to the disciple, he has to make a manifest. But I said the Guru is always manifest. He has to make that Tirobhav and Avirbhav. Tirobhav and Avirbhav is like the sun. Does the sun die and disappear when it sets every day? It's not manifest. You wait 18 hours, then it'll manifest again. It sets at 6, and 18 hours later, at 6 a.m. it rises again. 12 hours later. Sets at 6 o'clock, rises at 6. So it rises, so the sunshine remembers the Guru. It rises as soon as you want to remember the Guru. You want to see the presence of the sun? Come out 6 a.m. There it is. You want to see the presence of the Guru? And call him into your memory. Call him into your heart that he's there. Once Prabhupada was crossing the street in New York City, the disciples asked him, Radharani, I think, or Ramananda or someone, Ragamuni, someone, Prabhupada, do you miss your Guru Maharaj? Now it's 1966. He left 30 years ago, 1936. 33 years ago, he left in December 31st. Do you miss your Guru? No, I don't miss my Guru. He's with me. He's in my heart. He hasn't gone anywhere. He entered my heart in 1922. I met my Guru in 1922. He entered in my heart, deeply into my heart. I didn't take Diksha for 11 years. So 11 years later, 1933 in Allahabad, Prabhupada took Diksha from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He entered my heart in 22. In other words, the seed enters the ground in the spring and the flowers come out in the summer. So the Guru enters the heart of Diksha and he's always there. So make that seed flower. Make it produce leaves and fruits by remembering his teachings and instructions and trying to carry them out and worshiping and praying to him and crying to him. You invoke his presence. The Guru may be away from you for 500 years. Rupa Goswami is Prabhupada's Guru. And he hasn't been living in Sevakos for 500 years in Avirbhav appearance, external appearance. When Prabhupada was living there in 1960, 63, 59 to 65, Prabhupada was living in Sevakos Radha. One day he was in his kitchen taking prasad, looking at Rupa Goswami's samadhi. Rupa Goswami appeared in front of him in his room. Sakshat Darshan Rupa Goswami, 500 years later. And at that time, Prabhupada was translating Bhakti-rasa Sindhu verse by verse and word for word, and was being printed in Bhakti Gaudiya magazine in India, English edition. It's called The Frontier Pioneer Days of ISKCON or some hardbound book. Collected all those old BTGs. I had a copy of it. Prabhupada did the first 15 verses of Nectar of Devotion, word for word, definition and commentaries, just like Bhagavatam. But he didn't finish the project. So during that time, he was absorbed in Rupa Goswami and praying to him. When Rupa Goswami appeared to him and said, "Don't be afraid. Swamiji, don't be afraid. Just go to the West and preach this Krishna consciousness. I'll be right behind you. I'll be right behind you, blessing you with success." So he did. He got success. So he had Sakshat Darshan of his Shiksha Guru 500 years later after the fact. So anywhere on the planet, your Guru has left this world, you can have Sakshat Darshan if you're a genuine disciple. That's the conclusion why I'm saying that. So I saw my Guru. He spoke to me. Lucky you. Let me tell you something good. He said I could eat mushrooms. What? My guru didn't say that. That's a big thing now. Everyone thinks that's a cool thing. Tom going to the max. Grows in dark places. Grows in couch stool. That's good, that's nice, but still is something. The mushrooms are too awesome. Jai Gurudev.
And the second part of the question was what does the disciple do after that, after the disappearance of the Guru?
I answered that, but I'll repeat it. What does the disciple do after the Guru leaves? He makes him come back. By remembering his teachings and following his teachings, you're living with the Guru. What is the Guru? Guru means hold hands with the Guru, walk to the store and buy an apple. You can also do that. But holding hands with the Guru means following his teachings, instructions. You'll feel his personal presence if you're pleasing him. Just like Thakurji speaks to devotees. You worship Radhaman, you have a picture of Radhaman, you offer him Martik every day, and you fan the picture every day. When you go to take darshan of Radhaman will speak to you, give you special darshan. The way you'll feel and perceive it. You go to take darshan of Krishna, and you pray to him, and the garland will fall off. And the Vajrayana will call, take the garland, come out. He doesn't know why it fell off. You know why it fell off. And then Vajrayana will come, and everyone's going, give me a garland, give me a garland. And he goes, hey you, come here. He calls you, me? Yeah, you. And you know why it fell off. It fell off because Krishna wanted to give it to you. So like that, the same way you reciprocate with a tiger, you reciprocate with a picture or murti of your Gurudev. You pray to him and you'll see the garland falls off, or a flower drops off his hand, or he smiles. I mean, no one else is like, not like dead stone, no, nothing going on. But you're feeling something's happening. Is it like me? Is somebody looking at me or what? Oh, who cares? So it's very personal. As much as you love a Guru, as much as you're attached to Guru, that's how fast you get to Krishna. Jai Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe.
I have a question now.
That's you're awake or what?
Well, I'm half awake.
That's good. I was asking a question again.
We went to Vinod Bihari's Baba Kirtan last night.
Oh,
and
yeah.
came back after midnight. And
Yeah,
then
it's pretty
today
late.
we had the Sadhu Mandara, the yearly Sadhu Mandara in Jiva Institute.
Acha.
So late night and too many sweets. And then Snan in Radha Kunda.
Fun.
Then Samadhi.
Yeah, right. Good. It's the lucky guy.
So my question is, who gives the Siddhanta, the spiritual body, the spiritual form? Is it the Guru, or is it the Guru? Is it Radha? Is it Krishna?
Who gives the Siddhanta? Siddhanta, first you have to create it, you have to have a Siddhanta to be given. You have no money, you can't give money. So where does Siddhantas come from? All the Siddhantas come from Krishna. This is told in 3rd canto, 15th chapter, 14th verse, and the commentaries of Jaya Goswami, Pretty Sandara number 10, which is 1,000 times told, 1,000 times heard. So Krishna manifests unlimited spiritual bodies, which are like particles of his effulgence, which are beautifying, decorating the spiritual world. And with each one of those spiritual bodies, he individually enjoys pastimes with each individual spiritual body. And one of those spiritual bodies is given to each liberated soul when they enter the spiritual world, either Gaudiya Vaisnava or Vaikuntha. So the giver of the spiritual body is Krishna. The proof that Krishna directly gets it, the Bhagavatam establishes the fact that Krishna gets a spiritual body. He brought Prajujamana, he brought the spiritual body to Narada, he made Dhruva Maharaj's body into a spiritual body, took on the spiritual world. He made Narada Muni's body, he brought a spiritual body from the spiritual world and gave it to Narada Muni. He brought a spiritual body for Jamil, gave it to Jamil. He brought a spiritual body for Gajendra, gave a spiritual body to Gajendra. And Yayati in 9th canto, he brought a spiritual body to Yayati. And he brought a spiritual body to Putna, gave it to Putna when he killed her in Gokul. So everywhere the Bhagavatam says Krishna gets a spiritual body. Krishna gets it directly or he gets it through Guru. Everything is that way. Every aspect of bhakti from beginning of getting the seed of bhakti to getting the Siddhanta is a combination of two mercies. Mercy of Guru, mercy of Krishna. Because Narada Muni got a spiritual body because he had a Guru. Dhruva Maharaj got a spiritual body because he had a Guru. Jamil got a spiritual body because he had a Guru. Yati had a Guru. Putna had a Guru. Yashoda. So everybody has a Guru. So we find in the Gaudiya tradition, generally the spiritual master gives the disciple the spiritual body, and Krishna gives it to the Guru, and the Guru gives it to Krishna. That's how the Guru gets the spiritual. He doesn't mix up different things in a bottle, shake it, the gas goes out. Wow. What's going on? There's boiling and bubbling. Wow. Okay. Nice now. Name, age, complexion, dress, seva, alankar, bhushan. It's okay. Krishna reveals the spiritual body to the Guru, and the Guru reveals the disciple. I'll repeat again, everywhere in spiritual life, Guru and Krishna working together, from beginning to end and on into infinitum. Guru is working in Sadguru, Guru is working in Siddharup. There's Guru Sakhi, Sakha Guru, and Guru Sakhi also. Guru in the spiritual world, so you better like your Guru. You're going to be with him or with her for a long time. God forbid. Sometimes gurus leave prematurely, you gotta wait for their disciples. Sometimes gurus leave prematurely, you gotta wait for their disciples. Goodbye, everybody, I'm out of here. You know? They say that's why Bhakti Siddhanta left, he's only 60 years old. 61 or something like that. And that's in 36, he was born in 1878 or something like that. 22 and 58 or something like that. I think he was born in 1887. That was in 1936, and
so I have another question.
okay.
When does real bhakti begins? At what stage?
Real bhakti?
Real bhakti.
Question is, when does real bhakti begin? At the level of bhava. Like some people, I get letters from some of the disciples telling about all their leelas they're seeing and meditating on. A lot of it's total concoction. And they tell me, I don't know if these are sporties or not. They're not even initiated yet, you know. They're not sure whether they're having sporties or not, but they're seeing all these different kind of leelas. So it's amusing to say the least. It's a good imagination. The spiritual world is not imaginary. It's the ultimate reality. It's the reality which everything else is based upon. It's the foundation, substratum of everything is the spiritual reality. Like the Radha Goswami said, the entire creation with its infinite planets and galaxies, universes, is simple. It's just floating on the ocean. It's just a ball floating on the ocean of consciousness. And you take a plastic ball, like have in a swimming pool, they have swimming pool balls, different colors, red, green, blue, thrown. So all the universe is thousands of universes, like one ball floating on an ocean of consciousness. The background of everything is consciousness. A good philosopher, very poetical speaker also. 18 sannyasis, 18 Brahmins, all Western educated, all spoke English, every single one of them. They're smart guys. Different ideas. So I feel that IGM is emphasizing there's two sides to the Chaitanya's coin. One is Yantaranga Karan and a Bairanga Karan. Bairanga Karan means external reason for Krishna's appearance. This is described in chapter 3 of Adi Lila. External appearance is to establish Dharma, Dharma, and Harinam Sankirtan. So IGM means ISKCON, GM, Gaudiya Vaisnava. IGM is expert at doing these things. Then chapter 4, Adilita, is the Antaranga Karan, means internal purpose of Lord Chaitanya's appearance, Krishna's appearance of Lord Chaitanya, to taste and appreciate the greatest Radharani's love, Pranaya Mahima, and the happiness, Sokyam she feels, and taste that happiness and sweetness of Radharani's love. That's one internal cause. The other internal cause is to preach Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti Prachar, it's right there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. 2-3 verses, the word Raganuga Bhakti Prachar is there. So the traditional lines of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Nityananda Parivar, Veda Parivar, Gnana Parivar, Shamananda Parivar, Narottam Parivar, etc. They're preaching Rag Bhakti and Madhurati and Bhavalasrati and Radharani and Ujjvala Rasa of Radharani. That's the difference. Both are perfect, both. Coin has two sides. Questions?
May I ask one quick question? Third one, last one, no?
Okay, well, no.
When we're going in Radharani Parikrama and we get to Lalita Kund, in the corner of Lalita Kund there's a very beautiful picture of a blue Shiva. Now what does Shiva... Murti. What does Shiva has to do with Lalita? What's the connection? Why is he there?
Question is Lalita Kund, there's a beautiful Murti of Shankar Bhagavan Shiva Mahadev. What's the connection? Well, basically someone did that for some personal reasons. There's usually murtis are established in holy dhams for getting various punya karmas. There's no description in any Leela books about Shiva's presence in Radha Kunda. She was present in 5 places in Brajmandal. Bankati Mahadev appeared to Shiva appeared to Siddhanta Goswami in Loy Bazaar. Bankati Mahadev, then there's Buddheshwar Shiva in Mathura, and Chakreshwar in Matsiganga, and Gopeshwar in Vrindavan, Nandishwar in Nandagram, Kameshwar in Kamban. They're the main Shivas in Shastras, Adi Rav Puran, ancient Shastras describe these Shiva deities in Vrindavan. There's many other Shiva deities in Mathura, Gokarneshwara, Rangeshwara. There's many Shiva deities, ancient, since Krishna's time. All modern Shivas and Hanumans and Rams are all for other reasons. Nothing to do with Leela. Just a nice thing to look at. He's Lalita Kundeshwara.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I say it's for me. It's put there to remind me of Vaitacharya.
Acha. Now you're revealing the secret.
I didn't put it there. He looks happy there. That's the main thing. Don't pick on Shiva, come on. Yeah.
Oh, it's just a clarification and a question. Did you say that that it is called Madhura Rati only when the gopis when they've reached puberty?
What?
No, I'm saying you were reading right earlier, and then I think you read that when the gopis reach puberty, then only then their attraction to Krishna is called Madhura Rati.
Yeah, it's from birth. It's what we read, and it's true. From birth, it's an eternal stairati,
Right.
the eternal mood of love towards Krishna's amorous love. But a baby can't have amorous feelings. So when they had a proper body development, then like a woman or a man, then amorous feelings arose with the development of the body. That's all it means. Madhurati was already there, but became manifest. Just like in a woman or man, Madhurati's there, but 5-year-old girl doesn't fall in love with a 5-year-old boy. They're throwing sand at each other. And then 15 years later, getting married. Same guy threw sand at. Sometimes happens. Question? You have any question?
No questions.
Oh, yeah. That question. Krishna.
महाराज जब रावण में भक्ति वाले जैसे डेथ होती है तो जब मतलब जो गुरु ने स्वरूप दिया वही स्वरूप जाता है या फिर दूसरा कोई जाता है?
He is asking that when a devotee practicing Ravana Bhakti leaves this body, so he will get the body given by the Guru, Siddha Deha he will get, or he will get another body.
When someone's practicing Rag Marg, aspiring to be Radharani's Manjari, and that person leaves their body, will they attain the spiritual body given to them by the Guru, or they will attain another body? Unless they have prema, unless they have pure love for Krishna, they'll take rebirth in this material world and get a material body. If they have prema, which takes many lifetimes of practice and development, if they have prema bhakti, then they'll get the same spiritual body that they meditate on that was given by Guru. This is explained in Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, verse 11. Yad yat, verse yad yat Vapadiya. 3.9.11 with the commentary of Vishnu. Krishna says, whatever spiritual body you meditate on, that you will attain. 3rd Canto, chapter 9, verse 11. Yad yad diya vibhavayanti tat tat vapu pranayase anugraha. Anugraha, by the mercy of Krishna, He will give you the same spiritual body you meditated on. That's the whole idea. Maharaj, you have a question? Another question? Another question?
The question is about Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila chapter 19, 151 says that Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhaktirata Beach, and another Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila chapter 15, 108 verse, that one does not have to undergo initiation, one simply has to vibrate the holy name with his lips. So is there any contradiction in these verses?
What was that reference? 151?
Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila chapter 15, 108 108 verse.
Probably taken out of context.
Yeah.
Anyone has Chaitanya Charitamrita on the phone? Database. What's the verse again?
Madhyalila chapter 15,
15?
verse 108.
Yeah, 215, 108, right?
Yes, Gurudev.
No.
The first question, what verse was it? Brahmanda
Guru Krishna
Brahmanda.
Prasadi Pai Bhaktirata Beach. Yes, Gurudev.
So the person asking a question about two verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. What's the correlation between the two?
Yeah, yes. Is there any contradiction between these verses?
No, there's no contradiction. The one verse says you receive the seed of bhakti from Guru Krishna. Right? Brahmanda Brahmatikam Bhagavan Ji Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. Bhakti Lata Bija, Bija means seed of bhakti you get from Guru Krishna. That's the one verse. That verse is 215, 108. Diksha, it says Diksha Parash Chayavedi. That verse is describing the power of the holy name. The other verse, the first verse, is not describing Diksha, it's describing the seed of bhakti. There's no relationship. One's the seed of bhakti, the other is the sadhana of chanting Hare Krishna. The chanting Hare Krishna doesn't require Diksha. That's what Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter, Madhyalila chapter 15, 108 says, Diksha Purush Chaya Vidi, etc., etc. It says that Hari Krishna mantra doesn't depend on or wait for Diksha or observing Purush Charan Brat. There's a type of Brat called Purush Charan. Doesn't need that. It has independent power of its own. You just chant Hare Krishna, you get benefit. There's no relation at all. One's about Diksha, one's about sadhana. Amen.
So Maharaj, what is it that we're doing before the stage of birth?
What are we doing before the stage of Bhav?
It's not real bhakti, so what is
Before we
it?
get to the stage of Bhav, we're doing Bhav. B-H, long A, V, Bhav, is love of God, praying. B-H, short A, B-H-A, above, Bhav is material existence. So before we're taking Bhav, we're doing Bhav. Bhav means we're in material existence. We're eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Ahara Dija Maitan Vayo. Anand ho jayega. Konan. Party's gone. Dance till you drop, drink till you faint. So the question is, what are we doing before we get to Bhav? We're doing Anarthanivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Sakti, and then we get to Bhav. It's a dance. We have to take a few steps before we get to Bhav. We're dancing. We haven't reached the end of the dance yet. So keep dancing. Dance your way through Anarthanivritti, and dance your way through Nishtha, and dance your way to Ruchi, and dance your way to Sakti, and then wait for the Bhav. Moving closer. So it's okay, what?
Yes, yeah, but just
What to say? Keep going. Drops of water wear away stone.
is it wrong to say that it's just imitation?
Yeah, that's imitating a good thing is good. Is Krishna, you see Krishna dancing on your tongue when you chant Hare Krishna?
Not me.
No, I mean neither. So that's to be desirable, to attain. The thing is, we're going towards an ocean of nectar. But when there's an ocean, there's waves in the ocean. The waves break, and the wind blows and carries drops of water from the breaking waves onto the shore. You're in your beach house, 500 meters from the ocean, and the waves are breaking. You're on your veranda of your beach house. You're getting sort of mist in your face, right? So we're approaching the ocean of nectar. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. The ocean of nectar bliss, which is expanding every moment. We're not even in the ocean, we're not even hardly see the ocean, but we're feeling this ocean spray. We're feeling it on our forehead, on our body. And it's nectar. It's sustaining us. It's sustaining us, it's maintaining us, and it's energizing us to make us rush forward towards the ocean. You want to turn around, go back where you were? Back to kibbutz?
No way. No way, Jose.
Turn in your English citizenship, go back home. Get a machine gun and start fighting. Boom, boom, boom. Palestinian Liberation Front. PLF. No thanks.
Thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah. Thanks and no thanks.
I have a question.
Okay.
So we understand that Krishna's Prakriti Leelas are manifest eternally from one universe to another universe. Yes?
Well, yes and no. Now, yes, they're manifested in every universe, but it's eternally manifested in the spiritual realm.
Right. So when the sadhaka attains perfection now in the sadhak deha, then they will attain birth in one of the universes where Krishna is enacting his pastimes.
This is a conception of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, which most modern acharyas accept.
Okay. And after
But the Goswamis don't write that. The Goswamis write that you attain perfection, you go to the spiritual world.
Okay.
That's a later understanding introduced by Vishnu after the six Goswamis.
So my question is that does the entire spiritual world or the residents of Goloka or Vrindavan, then they also appear in every universe with Krishna in the material world? Or is it only a certain group?
Whole thing, man. Everything. They have unlimited expansions. Anatarupam. Krishna's there and he's here. Mayam Tamidam Savam Jagadavyakthamurtina. 9th chapter, Gita, verse 4. Krishna's inside everything, outside everything. So he's in the spiritual world, he's outside the spiritual world. He's in the material world, he's in the spiritual world. Everything. Gauranga, Yamuna, everything is there.
So this means also then the perfected sadhakas will also join Krishna in his roadshow in the material world while being also in the spiritual world.
Depends. Sadhaka can go directly to the spiritual world, or he can appear one lifetime.
One lifetime.
If he has prema, he'll appear one life in Vrindavan and then go to the spiritual world.
So that's what I'm saying. Then the next time Krishna appears in another universe, then the sadhaka will not go with him. He will be in the
Why should he go to the material world? He go to the spiritual world. His goal is Goloka Vrindavan, not Maya Jagat. So the Goloka Vrindavan is a temporary stopover on the way to the Chit Jagat, the spiritual world.
So it seems that then Krishna takes only a certain few group with him then in every universe.
Well, it's Nitya Parishads and the sadhana siddhas, Nitya Parishads, eternal associates, and the sadhana siddhas are appearing in different material universes in Vrindavan.
Only once, and then
The sadhana siddhas appearing once.
So along the same train of thought, we've heard also how some people would say that, for instance, Prabhupada is preaching in another universe somewhere. So is it the same kind of thing? He's preaching in one universe at the same time he's also in Golok?
Why not? What's the reason he can't be? It's quoted in Govinda Bhasya, commentary by Baladev Vibhushan on Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra. He quotes the Chandogya Upanishad, says that liberated souls can have 1,020 different forms. So Brahma can have one form in New York City, one form in some other place, and one form over there. No problem. What's the problem? 1,020. There are 1,020 Prabhupads. All over the place. So this year, your guru can manifest in 1,020 forms. Is that enough? Is that enough of your guru? One's good enough, I mean. One's too much. At least for me, imagine 1,020. Sorry, rubbish, no.
So how could Krishna dance with billion gopis?
I have no point of reference. I can give you some evidence based on projection, praman, sense experience. I don't have any experience of dancing with 1 billion gopis, so I can't give you projection, praman. Anuman, praman is logic. I can't give you any logic because it doesn't make any sense. And Shruti praman, I can quote the Padma Puran. It said there were 2 billion gopis in the rasa dance, and Krishna was dancing with everyone. So that's Shruti Praman. The Puranas are Shrutis. Krishna's God, he can do anything. Krishna's God. G-O-D. He can do anything. Kartam akartam anya kartam saishra. Paramahansa Sandarva says, Krishna can do it this way, he can do it that way, he can do it another way. Why? Because he's Ishvara. Kartam akartam anyata kartam saishra. So he dances one gopi, he dances two, he dances 2 billion. Why limit him? You can't, like Sri Swami said, trying to limit Bhagavan Krishna is it's like trying to accommodate an elephant on a tea saucer. Accommodate an elephant.
An elephant on a tea saucer.
Yeah, you have a teacup, you're from England, right?
Tea saucer.
You have a teacup, a little saucer, a little plate on the bottom. So you put an elephant on the plate. Oh, come on. It's ridiculous. The plate is this big, always like. So our brain is like a tea saucer, and Krishna's like the elephant. Trying to accommodate Krishna, our tiny little box brain, cause and effect, linear thinking brain, it's impossible. He's causeless, he's not rational, he's not irrational, he's transrational. That's Satyaraj Das Babaji. That's Satyaraj Das Babaji's idea. I was a mosquito, just the excuse to grab her shoulder.
There was a mosquito.
I didn't see it.
A big
You
black
didn't see it, I didn't see
mosquito.
it.
Trying to bite us.
You see that excuse? I got a mosquito there. I don't even know her name. Okay, what's going on here? You should go back to sea, you're safer. Another question. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, if someone, when someone develops Sai-Bhava, for example, Dasya or Vatsalya, can that progress further to Madhurya or it stays?
What's the question? I got basic most
So
of it.
someone develops Sai-Rati like in Dasya,
Okay,
and
then
does it stay like that or can progress to Madhurya?
the question is if someone develops Stairati and Vatsalya Bhava or Sekirati or Stairati or Dasrati, does it stay like that or can it evolve or transform or change into Madhurati? Why should it? There's no reason for it. If someone has a ruchi to be Krishna's mother or Krishna's father or a parent, that means Vatsalya Rati, and they cultivate that, they'll get that. And whatever Rati one has, whatever permanent loving mood one has towards Krishna, that person is fully satisfied with that. There's not the greatest happiness, the greatest experience of bliss is a Madhurya Rati. You can observe things objectively, which is what Krishnadas Kaviraj says. But each rati is perfect and complete in itself. So anyone has a sthayi rati with Krishna is fully satisfied right where they are. The sthayi rati means it doesn't change; it's permanent. So that's what their loving mood is towards Krishna. It'll be eternal. That's why it's called sthayi. Means permanent, loving mood towards Krishna. No need for it to change. Why should it change?
Because I read in teachings of Lord Chaitanya that if someone progress further in bhajan, that can change.
That's not teaching the Goswamis. You cultivate a sthayi rati due to the seed of rati given to you in your last life, or cultivate in this life by association, by personal bhajan. You get sthayi rati by associating with a guru, as in the particular sthayi rati, or you have sthayi rati from a guru in last life, or somehow you have some inclination and ruchi for a particular sthayi rati. You cultivate that will become you'll attain siddhi in that will be your eternal perfection. There's no desire to change, no need for a change, and no description of it changing. That's not correct. This doesn't make sense. It's never described that way. That's why there's all sthayi ratis. There's different personalities that have different sthayi ratis. They cultivate and develop. Whatever you do in your sadhana becomes your siddhi, becomes your perfection. It doesn't change. Is this clear? These books are good to offer obeisance to. Stick with Goswami writings, commentaries on it.
In that same question, but so the devotee is saying that in the next verse, after Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhilila 108 verse, 109 verse says that by chanting the holy name one gets love of Godhead. So does that mean that no need of initiation? Because after 108 verse, while glorifying the holy name,
the same person's asking a question about chanting the holy name. You have to understand Shastra is written for different purposes. Sometimes Shastra uses a technique called hyperbole. Hyperbole means exaggeration because they're trying to convey a particular point. So sometimes verses are establishing mahima, the glories of something. So this particular section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya chapter 15, 108, 109, 110, 111, it's about the glories, it's the mahima. Mahima means the glories of chanting Hare Krishna. So it says you don't need diksha, you don't need this, you get love of God. So the person is saying, I think your question is, can you get love of God just by chanting Hare Krishna? So the answer is no. Now what? Now what's the question? You asked the question, can you get love of God? I said no. Why? Because you have to chant purely. What does it mean to chant purely? Answer.
no offenses.
Avoiding the 10 offenses. What are the 10 offenses? Shastra Ninda, Sadhu Ninda, and Guru Avagya. So if you don't get diksha, you're committing 3 offenses. You're committing Shastra Ninda, Sadhu Ninda, and Guru Avagya. You're disregarding the principle of Guru, and you're offending Shastra because Shastra's order and direct human beings to take diksha. No diksha, no praying. No diksha, no perfection, chanting japa. Because you're making aparad. You're making aparad on one side and you're going to get prema on the other side. No way, Jack. Or Jill or Bill or whatever your name is. Sadhu, you're offending the sadhus, you're disregarding the guru and guru principle. I don't need a guru. that you're offending Guru. Because the Guru is sorrow, so you're offending sorrow. And the Shastras are telling you should surrender to Guru. Keep Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, verse 34. Tarvidi pranipatena paribhashnena sevya uvidas chanti gaya savadarshan. To learn about God, to learn the truth, to realize the truth, you have to surrender to Guru. Krishna surrendered to Guru. Lord Chaitanya surrendered to Guru. Ramachandra surrendered to Guru. Every saint, the famous saint of India, has had a Guru. Surrendered to Guru. You're bigger than all them? Sorry. Don't buy it. We don't buy it. You're a big stupid. I don't need Guru. I'm better than Krishna. I'm better than Ramachandra. I'm better than Lord Chaitanya. Better than Tukara. I'm better than Namdev and all the great saints of India. Better than Narada Muni. I'm better than Nityananda. I'm better than Vaitacharya. I'm a Gaudiya Vaisnava. I don't follow Vaitacharya. I don't follow Nityananda. I don't follow Grona. What do you follow? I follow the Beatles. The Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and the Doors are my gurus.
I've heard some people say, Babaji, that Diksha is only a formality. The real thing is to follow the Shiksha.
That's nice. Good luck. Do it your way, man. I'm not going to stop you. Please repeat your question, sir.
So the question was, or the statement that I've heard from other people is that
You're other people.
Prabhupada said Prabhupada said that Shiksha is only formality. The main thing is to follow the Shiksha. So some people are following the Shiksha very nicely and they are disillusioned by some of the gurus in ISKCON. But then they take the Shiksha of Prabhupada seriously and they consider themselves to be true followers of Prabhupada.
So what's your question?
So in that sense, then they, following Prabhupada, they have Diksha. They don't need Diksha, it's only a formality, but the Shiksha is the main thing to follow. And
What's your question? I don't know. I heard.
Is this the correct understanding? Is this the correct understanding?
No. They're following Prabhupada. Follow means following the footsteps. Prabhupada took Diksha from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and served him perfectly. Follow all his teachings. So follow Prabhupada's teachings, take Diksha from a proper guru. Because you can't find a proper guru doesn't mean there aren't proper gurus. You're not happy, so you're trying to create some concocted way of spiritual life because you can't find a guru. You should pray to find a proper guru and surrender practice spiritual life properly under the teachings of guru. Because Rupa Goswami defines what is bhakti. You're not even doing bhakti. He says first step of bhakti, live not wrong, Guru Padashraya. Surrender to those your guru. Second, Diksha Adi Shiksha. Then you take Diksha, and when you take Diksha, after Diksha you get Shiksha. There's no question taking Diksha without getting Shiksha. These are the first three steps. Surrender to Guru, take Diksha, get Shiksha. So where's your standing of bhakti? There's no Bhakti Rupa Goswami, no support of Srila Prabhupada, it's all in your mind. It's ghost bhakti. It's just a ghost and the ghost making you believe you're doing bhakti. Ghost got a hold of your mind and make you think, I'm a devotee. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's just shooting blank shots, track, boom, boom, boom. No bullet. You're making noise when there's no bullets. Don't be fooled by fools. Follow the Shastra and find a proper teacher. Gurus are there, you have to have adhikar to receive a proper guru. So pray to Krishna for adhikar. If you don't have a Diksha guru, you're unfortunate. You should pray sincerely and deeply to Krishna in your heart. Please send me a proper Diksha guru. If you're sincere and Krishna wants to favor you, he'll give you mercy and show you a guru. Action has to be based on Shastra. Your actions that you read Bhagavad Gita chapter 16 verse 23.
शास्त्र विधि मुत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारः न च सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखं न परं गतिम्.
Krishna says in Gita, Tatsmat 16:24, Tatsmat Shastra Pramanam too. Tatsmat Shastra Pramanam. The Praman, the evidence is Shastra. 16:24. 16:23 says, if you don't follow Shastra, you get nothing. The Shastra says, take Diksha. Hari Bhakti says, without Diksha, you become born an animal. Hari Bhakti number 2, second Vilas says, being a Diksha, Pashu Yoni Janam. Without Diksha, you take birth in the womb of an animal. Dog. American dog. German Shepherd. Bulldog. Boxer. Cocker Spaniel. Have your choice. There's a lot of choices. Yeah.
Is it possible to attain spiritual perfection with the wrong philosophical understanding?
No!
Again, say again, no.
Come on, you're making a circus here or what, man? Come on. This is too crazy. He says, can you attain the spiritual world without understanding philosophy? Why do you think Krishna came as Vyasadeva, wrote all the Vedas, wrote Mahabharata, and Itihas, Ramayana, and Gita, and all these Shastras, and Vedanta Sutra, and so many Puranas, for no reason? It's for human beings to study and learn. Don't be lazy. If a uniform life with human brain intelligence, read, study, surrender, do bhajan. You'll get everything. Okay, no more joker questions.
To be more specific.
Oh, come on. This is your last chance, man. This is your last straw here. Go ahead.
Take, for example, this topic of the fall of the jiva, which is a very, controversial topic, really
It's not controversial at all.
Right. So, but there are people who have an understanding that we fall from the spiritual world. And this is not a proper understanding. So now my question is along these lines. Can someone with having such a conception, is it possible to attain spiritual perfection?
Here we go again. And having misconception, no guru, chanting Hare Krishna, making aparats, can go to the spiritual world. No. Have to chant pure name under the blessings of Guru and learn proper Siddhanta and tapas from Guru, and then if you attain prema, you go to the spiritual world. That's all there is to it. There's no shortcuts. There's no easy way. Prabhupada once said, spiritual life is only for the intelligent. Because once in LA, devotees went by, there was a new apartment house being built. It was like 10-story high on, Venice Boulevard. Venice Boulevard goes from Pacific Ocean all the way into LA City. Venice Boulevard. And he rode by that apartment house and said, Prabhupada, that's going to be the Brahmachari ashram in a couple of years. Like 500 apartment house. And Prabhupada laughed. He said, really? He said, yeah, we're selling so many books. We're going to take over the world pretty soon. Prabhupada said, right, Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, wrong. Not going to happen. He said, why? He said, no. Why? He said, because Krishna consciousness is only for the intelligent. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to take it up. If you don't have a brain, you won't be able to attain perfection in Bhakti Bhajan, or any yoga system, or any jnana, or anything. Bhakti requires brain and heart. It's a fusion of heart and mind. Both are required. Not just heart, no mind. Mind and heart, both. Unique blend. 7th chapter, Gita, verse number 3. Nusharam sahasreshu kashit yadati siddhaye yadadamavi siddhanam kashya mamati tatmata. Krishna says, 1,000 of men that endeavor for spiritual perfection, hardly one understands Bhagavan Sri Krishna, hardly one. Of those who know me, hardly one attains perfection. It's Sudurlabha. Siddhava Bhava Bhakti and Nectar Devotion is Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha. Very difficult to attain, very difficult. Thousands and thousands of people try. Only one makes it. Takes many lifetimes. It's not. Somebody asked me, sent me a letter. So I don't know, maybe I'm having swirty, I don't know. What a joke. That's the biggest joke of the century. Any good writer can make up anything and say I'm having swirties. It's not, that's light years away from swirties. We should feel that's the truth. There's a phenomenon of human mind called tendency for self-delusion. Tendency for self-delusion. People delude themselves into thinking they're advanced or perfect. A very advanced soul, very highly developed. Better you think the other way, I don't have anything. You see the teaching of the greatest saints and acharyas, they're always saying, anybody takes my name, they lose all their piety. They become lower and strong on the street. They're always so humble and so fallen, presenting themselves. So we should take an indication from that. This is the proper way of bhajan. This is the proper attitude. I have many lifetimes to go. Many lifetimes ago. I just pray, begging for mercy, begging for kripa. My friend was here last night. He's initiated by Shama Sundar Das Babaji Maharaj. He's his only disciple. He's a Brahmin from Delhi area. He lives in Anshagaon now. He was visiting me last night. I said, please give me some teachings. He said, you're following Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. But Raghunath Das Goswami, he's always saying he's a follower of Rupa Goswami. All his books, if you look minutely and Stavali, Raghunath is always praying to Rupa, because Rupa is his guru, Shiksha Guru for Raganuga Bhakti and Mantri Bhava Upasana of Raghunath Das Rupa Goswami. He said, you should make Uts to teach him, because he reads this story, he's Indian, he's Brahmin, he reads Sanskrit and Hindi, so he's very smart. He reads Bengali also. So he said, you should know Ujjvala Mani so well that it's flowing through your blood flowing through your veins like blood. So Ujjvala Mani is a masterpiece. Ujjvala Mani and Bhakti Rasa. If you really want to be a follower of Raghunath Das, you should study these books inside and out over and over again. Because unless you get the mercy of Rupa Goswami, you can't attain Radharani. Rupa Goswami is personally empowered by Lord Chaitanya to write about Radharani, write about Ras. He started describing about Vidagdha Madhav, and he's really Rasic Jan, very advanced soul. So he's giving me a boost to direct more attention to Rupa Goswami. But the Ujjvala Mani in English by Madan Swami isn't a good translation, it's very good. So I'm not very happy with it. I don't know if there's another. Do you have another copy? I heard Jagananda or Neil Nitai Das translated or something. Gopal Champu. Are you familiar? And I don't mean Gopal Champu, I mean Ujjvala Mani.
No, I only know about Banswami.
It's in Hindi by Shamal Das Hakim or something, Harinam Press. I think so. It's a classic book. Anyway, translation's not good. Okay, what time is it now?
It's nearly 5 o'clock.
Okay. 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Isn't it possible that someone has such a realization like Spookies or something? Although he's maybe not in this life, maybe even initiated, because he did this in previous lives, just continuing, and then Krishna just revealed to him.
Can one have swartis or visions of Krishna Lila in this life due to accumulation of samskars of bhakti from last life? Anything's possible. But generally we find if someone has practiced such intense practice in spiritual life, they will naturally have a guru in this life. That's told in Gita chapter 6 verse 44. It says, Purva abhyasena riyate yavasho. That one automatically from the heart is drawn to continue practice of his prior life. Purva abhyas means prior practices. So a person practiced so much in the last life, they come to the level of Baba in the last life, and from the birth or very beginning of this life, having swartis, they'll also be inspired to find a guru and take diksha again also. It'd be highly doubtful if someone's having those experiences as an adult that they don't have a guru. It's highly doubtful. If you're having swartis, there must be guru from the last life. And you'll be naturally, if you're having that kind of attachment around Krishna, getting that kind of experience, but you would automatically want a guru to confirm it and to direct you go deeper and attain perfection in your bhajan. But you have to understand that I've been developing this over many lifetimes, now getting close to perfection. I definitely need a guru. That would be obvious mentality. If you have that kind of devotional mentality, and that kind of sensitivity, as swartis, you also have the intellectual understanding that I need a guru to find my perfection. Question, one last question. You have a question? You.
Me? Well, actually, I may have question. What if it's more about the very lives in our life when we are doing our bhajan, when we are chanting or doing puja for deities or something like this. We cannot do this with a disturbed mind, right? Like when the mind, when you're feeling offended or you're feel some disturbance inside, it's not recommended to do this activity like chant or do puja, something like that. Is it right?
No.
No? Okay. I mean, with a disturbed mind, when you calm down, then you do. But in this moment when you're disturbed, is it recommended to do?
Question is, when one has a disturbed mind due to being offended or disturbed by some other beings or people or situations, should one withdraw or suspend his practice of bhajan or puja or worshipping until his mind settles, becomes more peaceful? Obviously, it's more productive and more beneficial and absorbing to have a peaceful mind to do meditation, to chant, to do service. But you have to remember that we're devotees. So bhakti, what does bhakti mean? Bhakti means to endeavor to do activities which give pleasure to Krishna with a happy heart and a peaceful mind. So the mind may not be peaceful, but the heart of a devotee is always happy. Because he's a devotee, he's naturally happy. Because he has Krishna in his life and Guru in his life. So our activities are to please Krishna, not for our pleasure, for Krishna's pleasure. So Krishna needs a bath, and Krishna has to get dressed, and Krishna has to eat, and Krishna has to have his water. So we may feel unhappy or disturbed or really angry at someone or so many emotional, mental problems, but we have to put that aside and think of Krishna's pleasure first. We're devotees. We're not feeling pleased, we're feeling unhappy, disturbed. Well, we have to, what about, well, how's he going to feel? He doesn't get fed, doesn't get dressed, doesn't get bathed. So I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it with a good mind. I'm doing it because it's my duty. It's also a duty. There's different causes of action. One is the cause, one motivating factor to action is duty, one is fear, one is love. Of course, love and peace and all that's really best thing to be motivating one to serve. But it's also our duty. A mother serves her baby no matter how she feels. She has to feed her baby, take care of her baby. So Krishna's more than a baby. So I don't feel good, so I don't do any puja for 5 days. That's an offense to Krishna. Krishna first, and then you'll find that even though you have disturbed mind and broken heart or unhappy heart, when you serve Krishna, please Krishna, somehow or some way or other, all that problem will disappear. Because the quickest means to get free from your problems and to solve your agitation and to create peace in your mind is to connect with Krishna. He's an ocean of peace, an ocean of love, an ocean of happiness. Don't stay away from Krishna. It's a time of need. You need Krishna, so approach him. Whether you have a disturbed mind or whatever kind of mind you have, or unhappy heart, just be with Krishna and everything will work out. He'll take care of you. Devotee means Krishna first, me second. That's what I mean, devotee. And if you're more advanced, you think Guru first, me second. That's rare to attain such an idea. Most people are impersonalists. Most people don't have very much of a personal feeling towards Guru. They stay away from Guru. They don't want to get too close. You're there, I'm here, good. You're there, I'm here, that's good. I don't want to be, they don't want to be too close to Guru.
Too close for comfort.
Huh?
Too close for comfort.
Yeah, too close to comfort. They say there's 3 things you shouldn't get too close to, you shouldn't get too far from. What are they? Fire, King, and Guru. Can you explain? Can you explain? Can you explain?
Fire, if you go too close to fire, will be burned, and if you go too far from the fire, then also
Can't cook your rice. Too close to fire, you get burned. Too far from fire, you get cold.
King, if you go too close, then he may kill also. If you go too far, we cannot maintain ourselves. We cannot be maintained.
When you're too close to Guru, you may make offense by minimizing or relativizing him, seeing he's a material, mundane person, etc. When you make offense and your bhakti goes down, or you're too far away, you lose the connection of mercy and flow of protection. It means too far away means you're not following it. Too far away doesn't mean kilometers. It means too far away you're not following the teachings, not following the instructions. That's far away from the instructions, far away from the teachings. Are you getting up, or are you chanting japa, or are you reading, or you're puja, or you're meditation? No, well, you're getting too far. And the king, if you get too close to the king, Oh, king, your wife, your wife's ugly, you know. My wife's better looking than your wife. What? Lose your head. And if you get too far to the king, you get too far deep in the forest. You say, tiger, tiger, king, help me. But the king told you not to go in the deep forest. Now he can't hear you cry for help. The tiger goes, ah. Get too far from the king can't protect you, can't save you. The tiger eats you. So 3 things you shouldn't get too close to or too far from. Get too close to the king, get familiar, crack a joke, cuts over your head. You get too far from him, he can't protect you. You get eaten by a tiger. You eat away your head trouble. You get your head cut off and you by a tiger. So you have to be middle road. You have to be not too far, not too close. Or sometimes some people say, you know all these rooms in your ashram. Oh, you're a sadhu, can I live in a room? No way. Can I stay in one room in your ashram? I said, no, that's for the cockroaches. And that's for the cockroaches, ants, and rats. They have their own private bathroom, and there's 4 baths and 5 bedrooms for the mice and cockroaches and lizards. Sometimes I guess from Delhi can't stay, or some people from other Bombay, so occasionally. Gaudiya used to stay with his wife sometimes after Sunday satsang. Sunday satsang, this is Sunday satsang, usually just me and Govinda and his wife. And we see our Sunday satsang would start at 3 o'clock and end at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. The 3 of us talking till 2 a.m. inside. Okay, you're Hari Katha. I'm limiting the topics. It was really a fun time. You know. Now it's really formal cameras and live broadcasts, and I'm really uptight, you know. Those are sweet days, you know. Remember those days? Once on that, it was just 2 of us, and then tomorrow came 3 and 4. And Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe.